Any questions on this?
So this is like the production-wise, that's how it's been.
Yeah, you can take this right now, build your app, go to Silicon Valley, raise 100 million, tell them you got this note-taking app. But no, seriously, this is a really good foundation to creating a production app. Yeah, I mean, it's just one file and it's not really doing anything, but you'd be surprised how similar production code looks to this. Like, there's just more business logic, right, around, like I said, like authentication and stuff like that. But when you get down to business, it's a route that's hitting a database and then returning the result, right? And the difficulty is going to depend on how did you model your data? Did you model your data in such a way that you have to make multiple queries? Like, how did you do that? So that's how difficult these queries are going to be. So, but yeah, at the end of the day, this is it. This is why I like Node, because it's like you got this little thing that's like running, but it's like powering so much.
So it's in Node is always running it. There's
Yeah. I open up a port, I open up a socket, I'm on 5,000, and it's just running until it crashes.
Just weird for me because I'm used to using server,
Yeah, this is
Apache will everything. So
right. Yeah, so if you compare this to Apache, oh man, Apache, I've used Apache before. Yeah,
I'm just saying. This looks simpler.
It's way simpler than Apache. Apache is way more low level, right? Like Express takes care, like you don't have to worry about connecting to the socket, opening it yourself, and chunking the data, like all that stuff. Like it just takes care of it for you because it's event based. So yeah, it's a little more high level, but at the end of the day, it kind of does the same thing. Yeah. You had a question?
Yes, I think you just answered it. So I was wondering if you just open the connection and not close it, you might get socket exception later.
Yeah, you
after
don't.
Like a couple of hundred requests.
Yeah, you won't get that here. Okay. Yeah, I know what you're talking about. I ran it that so many times. Yeah, yeah.
There's no case that how do you prevent your server from dying on some whatever? You have to handle everything, but in the real life, it's.
Yeah. So if you want to know more about that in detail, the course I taught yesterday talks a little more about that. But the API course that I taught talks about that a lot. But in short, if you don't want the server to die, then you just got to catch your errors, right? Because if I throw an error in here, the whole process is going to crash and the server crashes. And then you got to figure out, did I want this error to cause a crash, or did I not want this error to cause a crash? Like if you're not authenticated and that caused the error on my server, I don't want that to cause a crash. It's your fault you're not authenticated.
But you may have some external tools to be like, I don't know, pinging or doing something to double checking that there's something is still running, or I don't know.
Yeah, so like a health check service or something like that. Yeah, you can register a health check route. Yeah, at the end of the day, you just gotta, be wary of what's coming in. Just like any other server, you just need to prevent the errors from happening. But most of the time, you'll put something in front of this. So like if you did static assets, you do like Nginx for reverse proxy, or some type of caching layer, or a CDN. But yeah, most of the time there's something in front of it. So this thing could just focus on data and just JSON. And at that point, if it's just JSON, you can kind of just have full control over it. Yeah.
Also, just other things, but I don't know if it's so related. I'm just wondering because everything JavaScript backend, frontend. So I'm like, you can reuse the same thing on the front.
There you go. Yeah, you can. So if you ever built an app that was like isomorphic or universal, yeah, you were using the same code. Like you were literally.
All those things you could use on the front end.
Yeah, you can use it on the front end. Like, I mean, you couldn't make an Express server on the front end, but a lot of this code you could use on the front. I mean, technically, you could use Mongoose on the front end, and actually they have like examples of how you can do it. I know, right? Some people find themselves in the position where they're like type checking data on the front end, and they love the schemas of Mongoose, so they use that for validations.
Because exactly, if you have validations, it's so nice to be able to have it back in front. The same.
Yeah, I've seen people do it. If you ever heard of something called Meteor, that's literally what that does. So, yeah. You had a question, Mark?
I was just going to comment, like, PWAs and offline. Like, if you're going to save all your notes offline in the in a service worker or something, and then when you connect, then you can dump the data to the API or whatever. A lot of people will do that, so they'll mock.
Yep, exactly. So he's talking about progressive web apps, which are like the new mobile apps, and offline storage and all that stuff. So there's some advanced techniques there where like you would use a lot of those techniques on the front end that you would on the back end for syncing the server and the data. So yeah, it all is just JavaScript. But the thing about it is like Node itself has things that you can't do in the browser that you
Yeah,
can do on
obviously.
Node.
I'm talking mostly about the models and
Oh, yeah.
data. And
Yep, you could do a lot of that if you want to.